I wanted to talk to you about something I've been thinking about. I'm posting some of my dreams that I've had and visions, and I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea because a lot of times when God gives us a lot of dreams and visions, we start to use that as a crutch, an emotional crutch. And it's very easy to do that, where you could go, I don't know, a few weeks, a couple months without having anything, and you start thinking something's wrong. And it's not that it's wrong. It's just you start feeling like something's not right, or you're unsettled. You feel blocked off, but that's a good indicator that you're probably using it as a crutch. And the only thing that we're supposed to rely on is God's word and our time in prayer. Um, Having dreams and visions is a blessing, and it's amazing, and it does affect you emotionally too, and it does strengthen you and encourage you to keep going, or to build up for something that's coming, things of that sort. um, but there are times when he's quiet, and he's a quiet voice, and you don't get the big wow factor of a dream or a vision or something of that sort. And there's a dream I'd like to talk about that I had that I think has to do with this. I had this a couple years ago, and in the dream, I was, it seemed like I was in an apartment complex, and it was nighttime, and I was going to the pool. And inside the pool, the pool light was on, so the inside of the pool was all lit up, but there weren't any like outside lights on, so it was just the pool light illuminating that area. And I went in to the gate, and I walked over to the pool, and I didn't know why I was there, but I knew I was supposed to be there where the pool was. So I just kind of stood around waiting, not knowing what to do. And then other people started coming and coming into the pool area, and they were standing around too, and the more that people came, the more they started conversing amongst themselves. I noticed that they became very cliquish, and I was walking around through the people, and kind of overhearing what they were saying, and I don't think anybody really knew why they were there, and nobody was going to get in the pool. Nobody really understood why they were there, and they didn't think, about getting in the pool. Everybody had clothes on. Nobody was in any bathing suits or anything, so I guess it would be natural not to think about getting in the pool. But then I felt like I needed to be the first one to jump in. So I did. I jumped in, and I jumped in the deep end. And once I came back up after, being submerged in the water, I looked around, and everybody just kind of got quiet and watched. And then I was like, okay, I jumped in. Now I'm going to get out. So I went over and I started getting out, and I walked over to get a towel to dry myself off, and then another person jumped in. And I was like, okay. And so I'm drying off, and I'm watching. A lot of people are still talking and everything and doing their little click thing. And somebody else jumped in. Then a couple people jumped in. And then, like 5 people jumped in, and so on. And a lot of them started jumping in, but not everybody was jumping in because they were too involved in their conversations. And so I was like, okay, I don't feel like I'm supposed to be here anymore. And there was an angel there who didn't say anything to me. He just looked at me and motioned like I was supposed to follow him. So he walked out of the pool area, left the gate, and walked into the street. There was like, just outside the gate was like a little parking section, and then you walk into the apartment street, I guess. And then across from that will be another parking section, and then, apartments. So he stopped, actually at the beginning of the street section, at the end of the parking section, the first parking section. And he waited, and so I went over to him. And he said I needed to go in a certain direction. And he pointed in that direction. And that direction went between 2 apartment buildings. And all the lights that were over there were off. And so it was like really, really dark. And beyond that was pitch black. And I was a little nervous about doing that, but I figured, he's with me, nothing's going to happen to me. So we walk across the street. And when we get across the street to the second parking section, before you get, on the grass to go in between the apartment buildings, um, he said, okay, I have to tell you that you're going to have to go alone. But he said, you're not really alone. It's just you're not going to be able to see me anymore. You're not going to be able to hear me for a while. But I'm there with you, but you're going to have to go into this next section as though you're going alone. And it's going to be really dark, and it's going to be really scary, but no matter what comes, just remember you're not alone, and you will get through this. So I was like, okay, if you say so, then, I know I can do this, but I was still really nervous. And so he's like, you're going to be fine. He's like, you have to go now, but you have to hurry, because there's not a lot of time left. So I was like, okay. So I start walking, and he stays right where he's at. He's just standing there watching me. And I was like, I thought you were coming with me. He's like, I am, but I need you to go forward farther before I come, because you're not going to see me anymore. This is it, right now. And so I went and I started walking, and I got into the grassy area where I was about to go in between the buildings. And I turned around and I looked at him, and he was just staying there, like motioning, go, go. There's not a lot of time. You need to go. And so I said, okay, and I turned around and I just started walking. I was praying so hard because I could feel just all this evil all around me. I was praying so hard. And I got about halfway between the buildings, and I turned around again because I thought, okay, if I can just see him one last time, I can keep going. I turned around, he was gone. I didn't see him anymore after that. So I was like, okay, he said he was going to stay with me. So here I go. And I was just praying so hard that God would be with me and give me the strength to get through whatever is coming. But he said I could get through it, so I'm going through it. Even if I can't see anything, I'm just going to keep walking and trust that he's got a path in front of me, and he's going to take me through the other side, wherever that is. Because I did not see any light in front of me whatsoever, as far as I could see. Anyway, so that was that dream. I ended up going through the buildings and got to the really dark part, and I woke up. And after that, for a while, I didn't have any dreams or anything. Um, they've been kind of few and far between recently. I just started having them again this last year. I think I had that other dream about maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And so I was thinking about it, and I realized how much I was using those as an emotional crutch, because whenever I would feel like I was distant from God, um, or I was fearful or something of that sort, I would pray that he would give me dreams, or show himself to me, or show me something. And normally it would happen. A lot of times, most of the time when I had it was when I was praying, and I was reading the Word right before I went to bed. Typically those dreams weren't very good, though. Those were normally attack dreams where I would have to fight off demons and stuff. But even so, with one door, there's another door, which is something else that I think a lot of people don't understand, is that when you pray about seeing things and having dreams and visions and things of that sort, you have to understand that you need to get equipped for spiritual warfare, because if your eyes are open to one side, they're open to the other as well, and you need to know how to handle that, because there are very crafty things that can come through on that other side.